Up YouTube. If anyone's seen me on Instagram, they know I've been working on this for months. And I've only decided to make this video now because I saw that someone else did the same thing I did in Spanish. So here's a version in English. We have a 90s animated series Spider-Man on the Retrowave body, but not quite on the Retrowave body because he's got some bootleg arms from the bootleg animated series Spidey that I made into this Spidey. More on him in another video. But yeah, I'd say this actually looks much better with these arms. Dead serious. Maybe I should give him some toe joints, but yeah, I mean, there's not really too much to go over. Just I painted the blues to completely different blue. My paint kind of sucks. I need new paint. Painted a new logo. It's not the most accurate, but there is a little bit of no webs around it, like in the animated series. I kept the back logo the same because I was not going through all the trouble. And it kind of looks like this, just a little bit, you know, with a black outline around it. I just could not be bothered because I'm a lazy schmuck. But yeah, no, with this new head, it looks fan-fucking-tastic. But also, give him the following accessories, and the accessories he already came with. And more or less, he comes with the two wall-crawling hands, as previously mentioned, two fists, two web-shooting hands, the original Rushwave heads, and these two little web things, and I think also one of these, like, you know, the generic Hasbro web line they have everywhere. Like, one of these, I had them all in the same bag. They're kind of connected. I did not feel like separating them. On the Retrowave, and since I used the better-looking Retrowave head for a different custom, at the very least, he can still be your, you know, Retrowave Spidey. Unlike the original, though, he has fully functioning wall-crawling hands. I did have to cut the plastic to get them to work properly because bootlegs are weird, but yeah, a Retrowave Spidey with wall-crawling hands, so he can meet up with other Spider-Men clinging to my refrigerator. And what a cool mini-fridge it was. Now, I guess I need to get that Smythe and Peter Parker 2-pack so I can get a proper Peter Parker head, and maybe give him some better-looking arms that are double-jointed. Gotta get that Mary Jane and Green Goblin 2-pack, and then maybe customize that Goblin. So new plan, get one of these guys, or a bootleg of him. Put his arms and legs on the new Green Goblin, and maybe paint the purples to match. And then also maybe just take this guy and give him some better-looking purple. I don't mind the green being the color it is, but make him a more threatening, darker purple, because this purple, well, it's the least threatening Green Goblin I could ever have. I mean, this old broken, his legs broken, Toy Biz one has a much deeper purple, and he looks great. Then again, this was kind of trying to be the animated series, but also kind of wasn't. Also, damn, is he really that much taller than my Spider-Man? Huh. Maybe it's the head. So this being on the Retrowave Spidey, the articulation goes... Head can look up this far, I think maybe actually slightly more than usual on its normal heads, and because I modified this some, it looks a bit farther down, not that much. Actually, I think I modified this so it does look up farther. I'd much rather just have a normal pin and socket joint. And considering all the custom fodder pieces I have lying around, I might as well just put one in there. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do one of these days. So, shoulders look less weird. They still kind of droop a little bit, but it's got butterfly joints. Goes this far in, this far back. You know, for your dynamic falling poses during swingings and all that. They rotate at the shoulder. They also have a hinge, bicep rotation, double jointed elbows. The bootleg arms kind of suck and don't go as far as they're supposed to. Might need to, you know, Dremel this down some so it works better. Wrist rotation, wrist hinge, and it's about the same on all the hands. Kind of. I had to modify it so it actually would work because there was some excess plastic on one of these hands. Because that's just how this bootleg works. Rotation at the diaphragm joint that can go a full 360, but why would you want to? Hinges this far forward, this far back. An ab crunch that goes... this far forward and this far back, both joints, crazy amount back, and pretty good degree forward. Alright, he's got rotation at the thighs, and he also has these drop-down ones so you can get the full rotation out of it. Thigh rotation, double-jointed knees, Calf swivel, which is usually missing on Spider-Man figures. Why is it never here when you need it to be? Ankle rocker. Goes this far down, this far up. And Hasbro's style and ankle pivot. You know, everything you really need in a Spider-Man figure is here, aside from maybe waist rotation. But, you know, I guess that's what we have the diaphragm joint for. Although that doesn't quite look right. Maybe if I just... Yeah. Yeah, it looks a tad bit better. You know, with crazy articulation like this, that kind of messes up the design. I see why figures like Mezco and other 1/12 scale cloth figures exist, because I love those, and it covers up, you know, weird joints messing up the design because it's all covered by a costume. So it's like a real person wearing a costume, except it's a figure, and in the 6-inch scale. It's bloody great. Here he is standing next to Dr. Octagonopus, whose tentacles I like, but they're also not the most accurate, and mine's are, doing that. They're a little loose. And I guess while we're out here, he is next to his Aunt May, who'd have a heart attack if she were to ever know that Peter Parker, her nephew, was actually Spider-Man. Do like the scaling between him and Kingpin, though. Yeah, this seems about right. Kingpin was massive in this series. Anyone want to see Spider-Man beat up Kingpin the way he never could in this series? And here he is standing next to Black Cat from the 90s animated series. Looking pretty fire. So I guess you probably want him standing next to the first appearance Spidey, so you can get a bit of a scaling idea of how they scale together. They seem to be just about the same height, actually. Maybe he's only slightly taller. Here he is standing next to your average 6-inch scale figure, if I can get him to stand properly. We have the Pizza Spidey, a little tiny bit taller, and of course, the Renew Your Vows Spidey, with his magnet feet that don't give him any extra height before anyone asks. I was very thorough about that. And he seems to be the tallest out of the bunch. Though the scaling isn't bad. Actually, not bad at all. I see why people use this for an adult Spider-Man from time to time, but he still just seems a little too short for me. That's my 90s animated series Spidey, kids. This would definitely be one I would love to actually do for commissions, except I'd probably have to use only bootleg parts, unless you guys want to pay an arm and a leg. But yeah. It's a pretty cool-looking Spidey, all things considered, and I need a Lazy Susan. Yeah, that's my review, guys. Tune in next time for, I guess, me revealing what the hell's the deal with this guy. Alright, see ya.